do it to us.
102.
Okay.
He's taking notes. Calling this meeting to order, Chris, at 1:02. We do have a quorum, that's 3 fellows here. So, anything that we... Okay. So we're calling this meeting to order. It says accept the minutes from the last meeting, and we do not have a copy of those minutes. Wendy didn't send anything out to any of us.
No, I didn't get anything either.
Nothing
And
was
we didn't do anything last time except have a report that Charter wasn't doing anything.
Right, well, we
didn't have a
talked
quorum
mostly
anyway.
about
We
the
didn't
charter
have a quorum to
contract.
do anything.
No,
So,
no, and actually we didn't, it was you and I.
yeah. So, since we do not have any minutes, we'll move on. Oh, Robin, here's a agenda for today's meeting.
Thank you.
Not much on there, but we'll do a little bit. Franchise agreement update, we were hoping John would be here today. Was he planning on coming?
I think he was, yeah.
So he'll probably be here
Yeah,
in a bit,
yeah.
so hopefully.
I did just send him an email about that.
Okay. So let's get the GRTV update.
Okay, so updating on my end, I have new gear to replace our old cable cast to industry standards, so we'll be able to run high def. So I got all those parts. It should be coming in around February 4th. So working with John in the city on that and getting it in. And then there's also a public computer that I added. So the public computer will be able, it won't be hooked up to the internet and it'll kind of be locked on the editing software. But basically anything that someone wants to bring in from Little Falls community, they can edit themselves on a little bit higher of a grade of editing software. And then they can produce it and then take it home and then also leave a copy for it to go on here. So, and depending on, I mean, they can come in and edit, you know, whatever they want. I just ask that they at least produce one show during the whole, you know, run through of everything. So hoping to get more programming in than just that. But everybody else has a public computer that everybody can come in and do something with. And I think it'd just be great to have that option. So that also got ordered and is here. I'm just working on finding a spot where making it accessible. Hey. How goes it? Good. So just give you the update on all the equipment coming in and the computer.
Okay.
I did email Bob Vose yesterday and got her reply back on the status of the contract
Okay.
renewal.
So we're gonna back up then. We just passed it till you got here.
Okay.
So we move back to the franchise agreement update, and John will inform us of what's going
Okay.
on.
So then Bob forwarded back to Charter, and he said they gave him a pretty terse, unsatisfactory response. One of the items was looking at, I think, Owatonna, and I don't know if that was peg fee or something, but said that Charter is reviewing that. Then the issue with the HD channel. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. He's working on different things. I just pulled this up, so. They're working on it. They have no response for us in terms of our update from Little Falls for the Little Falls contract.
So we're just in limbo, we're just gonna
Yep.
keep cruising and
Mm-hmm.
go with the continuing contract.
Well, apparently that's about all we can do at this point. So.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to look at the output from the high school to Charter, and then see what it looks like when Charter sends it back through the system?
I have not for this.
If you get a chance, talk to Mark Deal,
Okay.
because they can show you that they're putting out a very high picture.
Yeah, I saw the photos and that
Yeah.
exchange.
But they're sending a very high def. All their equipment's high def. So they're sending that into Charter, and they've got one little piece of equipment. It's an analog box
Yeah.
that Charter's got there. And Charter's the one that owns that box, I guess. And that goes into that thing to Charter. But then when Charter brings it back, they supposedly have changed it back from analog to high def. But when it comes back, it looks like an analog signal. It's very fuzzy with high def television.
Yeah.
And Chris can show you that. He's got a sharper picture of an old analog television set than he does on his high def monitor. And that's coming from Charter. And he's got the same kind of analog box that supposedly belongs to Charter also.
Okay.
And that's the one we changed out.
The only difference between the school's analog box and my analog box is this one has stereo and that one has one. Has nothing to do with each
I mean, the only difference is just the audio part of it? Really?
other.
And why is yours working so well?
Yep. I'm doing the same thing. I just have the capability of having one person scream from the left and the right, and I just have one person scream from the left and right. That's the only difference. And I don't know why it's two different ones anyways. It seems kind of odd that you send two different pieces of equipment for two different stations.
So are we asking them to put out a lot of effort and dollars into changing this? I mean, why are they so resistant to upgrading the signal?
I think, as of right now, I think that when you have that signal the way that you want it, and I feel like they feel that they have power because they're getting us on air, and they kind of think that we don't know anything but high def or analog. So I mean, they feel. Like they
And to
have it.
quote the they, who is the they?
That's Charter. So
Yeah, but is it just charter tech people or charter administration or?
the administration, who's ever controlling our pay.
And we don't even know that because we can't contact charter without going through the 800 number and stand in line like everybody else does.
Yeah. We don't have a contact.
We have no way.
Which is odd because as of today, I've already received 2 phone calls about people calling me about Charter because somewhere they said they called like 411 or info. It sends it to me.
For charter services.
Yep, for their TV provider.
Oh, we'll promise them anything and bill it
Yeah,
to charter.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I've been
Wow.
willingly giving up their Charter number.
Wow.
So
I mean, there are a couple representatives now that have been dealing with this issue in terms of the contract, and that's Leanne Herrera, which I've been working with before, and Brenda Osborne. So but they're not on this side in the actual sending out of the content and the delivery there. They're just in the contract side for the franchise agreements,
Administrative loop.
and financing. So.
Did we ever find out anything on the potential of having a competitor come in, North Central? Were they going to do that? Or what is it?
CTC.
Yeah, right.
I did meet with them in December and just started building that relationship,
Okay.
talking to them, and asked Eric Papachaki about, we've talked about this in the past, and you've done some work in our community before, so what was some of the concerns? And he did brought up that when they were in the preliminary planning, that they were going to have to pay all these attorneys' fees
Okay.
for the agreement, and that was non-negotiable, that they couldn't be waived or reimbursed or anything like that. And I said, well, I don't know if that's entirely true, that I know they need to be paid because you're doing all the due diligence and creating the contract and all the legalities behind that, but I don't understand either. There's an agreement that after a certain level of, satisfactory service delivery,
Compliance, yeah,
you
yeah.
can get something back, because we had something with that in charter
Okay.
contract that it can be extended if they met these certain
So
criteria.
this is a city requirement. This
Yeah.
isn't a charter requirement.
No,
Okay.
this is part of the franchise
Okay.
agreement.
All right. Would it behoove us to try to get the council to waive something like that so we can have a little more
I
clout?
mean, maybe, but not at this time. I mean, I
Okay.
think it's timely of a matter, because one, you need CTC to be motivated to come in and want to make those investments in that money, if that's in their plans for their entire
So
operation.
how receptive they were.
Yeah.
was-
They do have a plan for coming into Little Falls and delivering service, but it was starting with business, doing a core ring, and then maybe
More
spreading out
commercial
from
as
that,
opposed
commercial,
to-
yeah,
okay.
focusing on commercial first.
Hmm.
So,
I think a couple times ago when Mark Deal was here, he mentioned the fact that a charter service guy went and helped do some stuff at the high school. Okay?
Really?
And you saw that analog thing there, and he said he couldn't do anything about changing that analog to a digital unit unless he got orders from Charter
Okay.
to do that, and he couldn't get the orders from Charter to do that. But they know that that's what has to be done, but they won't act on it. They won't, he has to get, before he can do it or make a recommendation, his bosses have to write a spec order to
Totally
him,
understand that.
to him to do that,
Okay.
because he couldn't do it on his own.
My question now is, how expensive a piece of equipment is this? We have equipment of our own that's in line here that we're utilizing for different factors and aspects of the charter.
Yeah, what would one of those?
What would it cost for us to
boxes
buy
cost?
one of those and put the dumb thing in and replace it? and say it's
That's,
ours?
I started looking into that and just seeing what we need, but I don't know what Charter has on the other end that would, I don't, because we have the whole scrambling of the signals.
Okay, so they've got a interface.
So I don't know if we switch that, if they would,
Interface to each other,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, would it sync up or would
I
it be
don't
out
know.
of sync or, so it's that kind of thing.
Is it just a standard piece of equipment or, that's the whole thing, you don't know?
I wish I mean, if I could just produce an SDI signal and shoot it out to them and it would work that way,
Yeah.
that'd be, great. But this is also a modulator, so it's figuring out what channel to send it on. So even, and it's kind of funny because it says channel 12 here, but their equipment over on the other end switches it to channel 180.
Right.
So, it'd be a lot of finessing, I think. So, would it work? Potentially. How expensive? It can't be that expensive. The old digital conversion would be, but look at how
Do you
big
think
that
now
unit's
that
in
this
there.
one says channel 12 and really, maybe it's just a dumb system that's all controlled from the other end? And they can talk to it and say this is 180, you're 180 now, forget about the 12. And you have no control of that here, right?
I do have control because I could switch it and I could go on to 181. And there's 2 channel difference. If I switch to channel 6, I
Yeah,
can go into channel 181 here.
interesting.
So, and that's just a flip of a dial. It's all goofy.
Well, good luck,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say.
So my hope is just to, on our end, get it high def,
Yeah.
push high def, because analog can't handle high def. So, you'll make it Trevor's problem. That's the only thing that I feel. If it's out of our hands and it's somewhere else causing problems, then it's their issue.
So Bob Vos says that Charter is having an issue with what we proposed. And
they've been discussing it, and what his attorney has said, that contacting the charter negotiators. They've sent several communications over a period of months with no substantive response. So they've not been communicating back with.
Oh,
Charter obviously is in no hurry to sign a contract with us.
Apparently not.
It's almost a year.
well,
Wonder how many other cities and municipalities are in the same position where they're operating with no current contract.
He's working with two others that are in the same contract negotiation things and in conflict. So
And do they have involved public access channels too? You don't
I
know.
don't know what that. It's just that was the Owatonna comment. I didn't read the email correctly. That he's working with Owatonna. He's working with Sherburne Wright counties. Issues too. In the same and then Little Falls. So.
Have you ever contacted anyone else with public access who was ever updated, who has a current module that sends out a high def signal?
No, I did go down to White Bear Lake, but I wasn't allowed to look around in there.
Really?
especially-
Why?
So, because it was my first time there.
Oh,
So,
well, I mean,
and
you're co-buddies, you know.
yeah, I went down there and I said, yeah, you know, and
Uh-huh.
he said, well, you'll have to do the introductory course, and I was like,
What?
okay, let's get this done, you know. So I went through it, and it was still kind of like, yeah, we don't really let anybody go through there, but if you want to produce a program for us, that'd be great. I'm
Oh.
like,
See, come on, we're in this together.
Yeah,
Let's share.
that's-
What about
that's it.
Wilmer? What about
So-
Brainerd? Some
well,
of
I was
those
gonna
places?
check with Brainerd because they're actually, we piggyback and borrow equipment from them.
Yes.
And so that'd be perfect, but I can't get a hold of him. I don't know if his email changed. But he still has one of our DVD players. So we'll be in contact.
Huh.
But yeah, and I really want to hit on, see if I can't talk to somebody again down in the cities area. But then I go through and kind of look at their stations, and they are kind of running the same thing that we are. It looks fuzzy on a high def TV.
Oh, really?
You know, just a little bit, but I'm like, I wonder if they're having the same issue. But then I was recently in Michigan, and their public access almost looked like cable TV.
Now, was that Spectrum, Verizon, or
It
Charter?
was Dish Network, but
Oh, Dish.
I
okay.
mean, it was the same concept, but I couldn't believe that
Really?
it was the best one I had ever seen,
Oh.
picture-wise. And
So if we get you some coveralls that say Charter on it,
yeah, go
and
in.
a hat,
Yeah,
and then you can just go in there and carry a little box with you and
yep, box, and then
just
at
look
least
anywhere you want.
at least a little meter of some
Right,
sort. I
right.
guess.
Doesn't have to really work. But just-
Administration said I just had to come in here.
yeah, check this out. Huh.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just seeing where and what equipment works at what places. So
do you know Rudy down at Wilmer?
no, I think I've been, but I do know the guy from Cold Spring.
Rudy would be a good guy to contact. Rudy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a Wilmer.
So do you know if they're high def or?
I don't know, that would be something that you could introduce yourself on the phone and ask them.
So yeah, I mean that's at this point that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Is figuring out what works and what doesn't. I guess.
I don't know what Rudy's last name is. Do
You
you?
wouldn't have to know.
Yeah,
If you get a hold of the
yeah, just public access.
public access place there, just ask for Rudy. That's all.
Sure. But yeah, I mean that's because right now we have everything ordered and coming in for us to be high def. The school's going to be high def, and then we're limited. So
But it doesn't help us out if we can't send out the high def signal. Alright.
so and also the boxes I'm checking out of our analog too. But if everybody else is saying that they see the channel outside of here fuzzy, then I'm sure they have high definition boxes and this seems to come through.
Do you have charter?
Sure.
Do you watch the school programs when they have basketball games?
Once in a while, and some of the basketball games have been very good. The production the kids did a nice job, and also the camera work was good, and the picture quality was excellent.
Oh,
But there are others not so good, but I haven't watched a lot of it.
Because he streams a lot of those
Mhm.
Okay,
programs over the Cube.
Yeah, he does a lot of streaming and
but I haven't been watching it over there. I was watching
I
right
watch it
through
on, I watch it on
181.
Cube, and it's, because it's right on my
Yeah.
computer
Yeah.
though, because I don't have Charter.
And with analog, even if you have even if you have the high definition cameras, it's gonna make your analog picture look a little bit better.
Better,
anyways.
They don't
So
usually condenses it.
Yep,
and sharpens
it just-
up.
yeah, it's kind of goofy because I'll shoot with a high def and a regular one here, and you can tell when I switch cameras.
Sure.
So, I mean, so it's not truly high def, if that's, but it looks better.
It's better. It's cleaned up a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as grainy.
Probably upping from like 320 to 480.
Yep.
And even that change is pretty noticeable.
So your programs that you're producing here then are in high def?
Any program that I shoot outside or in the gallery or anything like that is usually high def. This one, in the studio, the TriCaster still runs analog, so I'm still dumbed down that way. Because if I run the TriCaster, then it's still going to be analog sync.
That's a piece that we ordered.
The TriCaster isn't a
Is
piece
it?
that we ordered. I wanted to get all the gear to make everything else better first.
So you're gonna have to get a TriCaster that's high def?
Yep, and they run between $48,000.
So you're funding that out of that PEG
Yep.
money that we've
Yep.
got that was set aside for all this? Good.
And I had two quotes for the tightrope system,
Mhm.
and they were way different. I mean, almost $20,000 difference.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah. If we would have went with the higher one, it would have ate up all of that
yep.
remaining money.
So I picked and chose and went through and dealt with Marco, and they were really good about it. They already sent the high def switcher and got me all excited, and then called me back and said, "Yeah, your other stuff is still way ahead of time." You know. So, but yeah, it was an interesting process going through that, and then seeing everything that was sent through the other company, because I mean, we potentially could have got really hosed on a deal because they had a lot of gear that we didn't really need on that list, and I felt like they took whatever the school had and just gave it to us in that same kind of thing. But like a 20 by 20 switcher, I don't even think we have 20 inputs and outputs. So that
We'll
was
put
one
this
thing.
list together for you.
That was Todd Spicula.
Oh, Todd.
So, I mean, and then I'm going to do the labor myself, so, I mean, that's another $4,000
Yeah.
going to be saved. So. But yeah, it'll be, I mean, after all said and done, after it's programmed and in there and everything, I'm hoping that it's just pull the plug and put it in, and it'll be off air for 30 seconds. That's it. So, I've been planning it. So, that's where I sit with all that stuff. But yeah, and John was easy to work with on getting all that. Really appreciate it. So
That helps.
yeah.
You're welcome. It's just
Okay.
knowing how much money there is, is there and planning for it too, and like it's not an never-ending
No.
thing. It's not like you got all this money. It was there, and these things need to get upgraded.
Okay, now since I'm on a cable board, can I email Bob Vos and ask him something without being charged for his time? Do he charge some time to the city?
I'm sure it's getting billed somewhere. We have. I think they do a quarterly statement. So the last one I got was in December.
I think they do take it out of the franchise fee. So you'll see, like in the public minutes, there's the 2 checks that go out, and then there's another lawyer.
Yeah, attorney.
Did they itemize that then, so you can see exactly?
Yeah, I'm sure, and then I'm sure that's on the finance side of where they're just putting that towards.
Because if I just want to ask him how things are going, and he makes a reply to me, I don't want to be charging us any money, so I'm just, as long as I get it from you, then
You
Yeah.
send everything to me.
Yeah.
And if you have an inquiry and you want something from Bob, send it to me, and then I'll.
Okay, I have an inquiry. What is our course of action now? Are we just going to sit, or do we have any due diligence, which we really should start something? Whether it's protesting out in the street, or what
That's
can
a
we
good
do to
one.
get them to move?
That's a very good question, and I have no answers to that.
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah, somebody said to me.
What if everybody turned their TVs around at home and we protested that?
Take
Help it out. They're still gonna bill us, aren't they?
Throw them out in the street.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering if there's a problem with Charter today because of all the phone calls that came in, so.
And I don't know with them as a company if the merger with Time Warner or by being bought out by Time Warner has something to do with it, or I don't know what's going on.
When they changed over to their Spectrum part of this, did that have any bearing on anything at all?
Oh, we were still in agreement when that happened,
It was early last year.
so.
The
nothing
bill
further
looks
changed.
the same every month. I noticed that. They haven't said anything about it.
They were really adamant about wanting us to make sure that our resolution to continue working with them, even though they're under new ownership. They really wanted that passed and had some
Okay.
strict deadlines on getting that done, but we
But
did
we
that.
have no contract, so obviously anything that we're doing, there's no legal support for
Other
anything.
than a continuation
Right.
of the existing
Right.
terms. Like
Other
they
than
they couldn't bypass it. We'd have grounds to go after them if they weren't meeting the existing terms of the contract, even though it's their franchise agreement, even though it's out at the time of the franchise agreement. That's
So it
my
does,
understanding.
we don't have anything in there that says it's null and void at a certain period of time. You know, we
You
just,
know, I don't know what they
Yeah.
would do. They'd pull up all the wire from the ground or turn
no
everybody
clue
off.
either. And we have no other recourse to bring anybody else in.
And us by,
Short
telling
term.
them, hey, you got all this stuff in a right of way, get it out.
You know, I've got Dish internet service, and it's down right now. And they're running on the CenturyLink,
Okay, yeah. They hook
Lines,
with
I
them,
think.
yep.
or it's the same thing that Charter be running on the CenturyLink lines?
No, Charter's
Two
hardwired right
two
in my
different
house.
wires.
Yeah.
So Charter has their own wire and then CenturyLink
They
has.
bring it right in on their coax.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The phone system too, I've got the phone system, I've got the package and,
From Charter,
from Charter,
but you
yeah.
have to have a modem for your phone.
For the phone, yeah, it's just a little modem, yeah.
And you can
But
have-
again, we all use
And
the
you need a
same
box-
coax.
And you need a box for each TV that you've got.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way they control it.
Yeah.
They don't wanna just give me a signal and let me put it
Split.
everywhere,
Yes.
and to the neighbors,
Yeah.
everywhere
Well,
else.
we could just split the whole signal, but all of you would be watching the same station.
Yes, well, that's really very good.
Yeah.
I would hear it from upstairs where my wife would, get that ball game off of that TV.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because when we had Charter, we had that box in our bathroom because it's right next to the kitchen. So I went through the wall and put a TV in the kitchen, but I had to hook it up to that black box in the bathroom because I had a shelf right there behind it. And I didn't have enough room in the kitchen to put that box. So whenever we changed channel, I had to run into the bathroom and change it to a
See.
different channel. Then I couldn't record it.
There was a long time when you had the dual signal there before they switched over and you could do an analog and you didn't need a box.
Yeah.
And you'd get the analog signal
Oh,
on
yeah.
any TV, yeah.
Sure, I
And
had,
then, of course,
I had 3 TVs hooked up to that
well,
switcher.
certainly.
I had a little tri-cat.
Yeah. You've got a splitter as many
Splitter.
times as you could
Yeah.
split that
Yeah.
signal without
Yeah.
ruining the signal, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, you're getting a loss, a
Every
dB
time
loss.
you split it.
Huh, so things have changed, we're kind of hooked, and we don't have any recourse.
I'd say, unfortunately.
Gee, we're in a poor bargaining position, aren't we?
Not at the present time, so.
Huh. So all we're gonna do is pay legal fees and until there's some resolution. So no one really has any reason to rush into getting this solved, do they?
You know, as
Even the
explained to
legal
me,
people that
let-
we have working on it,
charter's the moving party, so
you know?
you know, let it be on charter to figure something out.
Right.
Until then, it's
But we
status
have a
quo.
lawyer who's working with them, who's charging us a quarterly fee or monthly fee.
Well, I mean,
to
based on
negotiate.
it's
Yeah.
based on the work that is actually
Right.
doing. It isn't just
And regardless if the work is proactive or not, it still works, so any good lawyer will charge you that, I'm sure, time and time again.
It's not a lot that he takes out every time. I mean,
It's-
that's what I've noticed.
Oh yeah,
It's-
the bills have been really
Good.
It's just a I don't know if he's had more than
I just wish we
$100.
had some leverage of some
Yeah.
kind.
Well, does anybody have anything else that we can not discuss?
Just, yeah, but you've taken care of just about everything here.
So
About charter board, cable board.
I think we should adjourn
We've got the school update. We've
then.
figured
Just
that out.
gave you that as much as
Yeah.
possible. They don't have any.
Yeah, nothing else.
Everything's the same up to, I mean, other than
Okay.
we're getting new equipment here to
Okay.
the sheriff up at
And
the
how's
school.
your usage been going and everything for, as far as you're keeping up with what you feel is a good mix of all of your programming? and-
Yeah, I mean, I'm adding to it and people have been dropping off.
Good.
I mean, so it's growing. There was a place just outside of town here. They kind of do the mental health stuff. They're out by the fairgrounds. I can't think of the name of it. But he did a special on a guy with depression and got him to talk and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting to see.
Northern
So-
Pines?
What's that?
Northern Pines?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a guy interested in doing stuff like that, and he does it, sends it in and talk about it. The churches did talk about getting rid of DVDs, so some of the churches want to just do a Dropbox and send it to me, so it'll save them a trip. And that's what I do with the city right now, is whenever they need a copy of something, and I just Dropbox it to them. Same with Morrison County, and then they just pop it up on the internet. So right now it's kind of like an epicenter right here, sending out, and it's turning into a digital thing. And I'm not running into DVDs anymore. But I mean, as of right now, we got 7 or 8 churches, and I just checked the viewing of them, and they've played 150 times at least. So, and then we have, community programming, and then Morrison County programming, and then some people are adding. Doug Beetle does scuba diving and hunting stuff, so every once in a while he brings in stuff.
Are you having enough manpower to cover all of the meetings and everything as far as your,
Just with the
Yeah,
holidays coming up, I was a little bit doing the holiday stuff, but I've taught Lori and a few others at the city council on how to run it
Okay.
if it is like that. So, and then same with up at Morrison County, so that if there ever was a problem, or if I wasn't there to do it, it's
Okay.
still recording me a record of
Alright.
it. So
they just wouldn't be switching, you don't have to.
it wouldn't be switching, no.
Okay.
But the content's there. The one thing that I am looking at doing is getting it so that when they shine up something on the projection screen, we don't have a camera aiming at it, so that you can see it better and it's more vivid and you get the information that's on there. Because a lot of times Greg up at the city council meeting, Greg Kinnan, he has the laser pointer and he points out the streets. Well, in the amount of time that I would have to do the contrast and the brightness and everything like that, he's already in the switch. And
So you'd almost have to dedicate a camera to that then, huh?
Yep.
would there be a means to just port that display into the video?
Yep, that's what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. And I think
Okay.
it used to be like that, but then
Not where you're just shining a camera on the
Correct.
projection screen.
Right,
It's just
you'd be able to
taking-
transport that into your switcher and
Yeah.
And I think it was like that until the new projector kind of came in,
Okay.
and then
I
they got
think it
new
was
projector.
too.
The new projector came in up at Morrison County too, and they have HDMI outputs, and we're running analog on that unit, and we're running analog on your unit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
There's no easy way to step it down or
I mean, we can get a converter and
Yeah.
a splitter,
Yeah.
and then I can shoot a signal over to me.
okay,
So,
interesting.
but yeah, I think that just just looks better quality.
Yeah. We need to split the HDMI into your
Yeah, but
Signal.
then we need to dumb it down to
panel.
yeah.
Let
So
them use VGA for analog?
I can. So and I have a splitter here, and I can split it and then hopefully run. Well, I can do an RCA in also. So and that's like $1,700.
Okay. We did just bought the wireless display receiver, the Microsoft one. So when we broadcast these, the mirror casting, so instead of an
Oh,
actual
sure.
hard line to HDMI input, it's going to be the wireless one for these.
The only thing is I don't have anything wireless at my desk. So because if I had that unit hooked up to the internet, I could do it from my phone. I mean,
You'd never have to get out of
yeah.
bed, would you?
I mean, think of the possibilities.
Yeah, yeah. Scary.
No, but that's the problem that I'm fixing it one place and then I gotta fix it other places, and it's just gonna take time. But I think what I'm gonna do is just before the next meeting is go in and VGA convert it to an RCA. I don't know exactly what Greg, if he always does HDMI or because I saw his VGA cable the other day.
Yeah, everything's HDMI now. Everything's going to be the wireless
Okay.
display.
So and that'll just be something I'll look into.
Or, I mean, very likely, and then if anybody were to come in outside of us and bringing in their own laptop, they would have, I think the only means would be they'd either have to wirelessly display it or they'd have to HDMI. Because the wall connection to the projector is HDMI.
Yeah.
That's the only input that's up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they did, they switched it over to Morrison County also. Never winning.
Well, do everything else.
Other than, are we gonna start rewriting the contract? Remember, what for?
When do we meet next?
Yeah.
When do you think we should meet next? April?
I thought we had the meeting, I printed out the minutes, I thought it was already figured out, but
3
And
months
leave
from
it as
now?
scheduled. We'll see. Usually it's after these meetings that I start to get some activity on what's going on. 'Cause
maybe not.
I asked Bob a question.
We got that figured out for this year already?
No, it's not on the schedule, I thought that we figured it out for him. Well, I think we wanted it every third Wednesday of the quarter at 1 o'clock.
So,
So the fourth
That's
month would be April. But if
April.
we wouldn't have met,
tax
if we
time.
do now, then that'd be 3 months from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be April,
March, April.
so it'd be the third Wednesday in April,
Okay.
1 o'clock.
And you are going to give us that reminder call?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, I ran out of stamps. Through the letter. Third Wednesday, April. 1 o'clock. Hopefully by then it's.
And we might have some more answers by then. And you'll have your new stuff in.
Yeah, I'll
by
be
then, so-
updated by then.
Yeah, so that'll help, yeah. Give us something to show us.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
All right, anything else? John, you got anything?
No, I don't.
Somebody asked me, he said, what kind of power does a cable board have? I said, none. I said,
Just said
all we do
that.
is go and listen to the cable people tell us what they've been putting on and how much time they're putting on and see where we're at with the franchise, and that's it. That's about it. Well, thank you for the update.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry there wasn't much fun.
Well, we've been through that before.
But you feel a lot more powerful being on the contract committee, don't you? Eric?
I don't know, I haven't gotten any emails from John about anything, so.
We'll just wait.
Nothing to send.
No.
Wait with bated breath on pins and needles.
But if you do get some information. from
Yeah,
Bob,
absolutely. Every time I have, I forward it to the
real
board.
good,
Or if they really want to do something as a group and actually negotiate,
If-
yeah.
give us a holler, we'd be glad to
Yeah,
jump.
I'll throw Bob an inquiry to see if there's anything that he feels we should, and more that we should be doing. I mean, the last one was give us those points of an issue that we want included in the contract, and they did follow up with some of that, and so more,
Yeah.
you know, they were contesting our statements that they weren't dumbing it down, and or that they weren't making us dumb it down, and Mark said, oh, here it is, this is the converter, your guy installed it.
It says analog right there.
Yep,
Yeah.
SDI to analog.
Yeah, pretty hard to,
How do you dispute that? And then after that comment, we got nothing back, so.
Yikes.
Well, you
Well,
wanna
let's
make a-
call it,
you wanna
shall
make
we?
a motion to be adjourned?
I
Make a
move.
motion. Okay, I'll second.
There you go. So moved.
So we're adjourned.
We're adjourned. Thank you, doctor.